two plugins, especially for Google Meet. So one of them will actually help your students and yourself if you are attendee, and the other one is quite a helpful plugin, especially for teachers for lower classes in K-12 where they require whiteboard. This is something inbuilt as a part of your plugin. Please note that both of these plugins are extensions, so they are extension to the browser, and both these plugins are applicable for teachers using the Chrome browser, preferably in a desktop environment. I have not tested these in a desktop setting on a mobile device, but right now we're just going to explore what this plugin does. I would encourage folks to do that. Use the desktop version on your mobile device and maybe try the same. But let's go ahead and check it out. So the first plugin which we are going to see is the Google Push to Talk. This is really helpful in classes where students have a lot of background noise, and if the mic is unmuted by mistake, then until you get the attention of the students, you might just have to push the student outside the class because the background is just too noisy and he or she is not acknowledging that it's disturbing the class. So this will allow your student to speak just in the way as a walkie-talkie works, right? So you push the button and you speak. So over here you can push the space bar, or you can push identify any key on your keyboard, which will allow you to just be press and speak. So it is push to talk, right? So let's see how this works. For that, let's start meeting here. So please note I'm using the G Suite version for education and not the Gmail version. So let's get started. You might ask what are the differences? Very minute differences. But hi, my name is Irfan, to introduce myself. So let's get started with the meeting. So here we are. Right, so this is the basic meeting information that you'll get, and that's one of the plugins showing up, but we'll just close it. So the first plugin which we are going to discuss is the Google Push to Talk, and you can see it has a small chimp or a monkey icon. It says Google Push to Talk. And how do you install it? You basically search for Google Chrome Push to Talk. It gets you to Google Web Store. Remember, these are extensions to your browser, that is the Chrome browser. So let's go and check it out. Over here I have to look for the plugin. The plugin will appear on your browser extension bar. So here it is. So I click on this and it asks me, what's your hotkey? What is the key that you want to use as the button? And I choose the space bar, and I can also choose when I'm mute on join. Right, so please ask your students to install this plugin on your browser and configure it in this way. The space bar is the longest key on your keyboard, so it makes sense for selecting it. So this is how it works. So I'm pressing it. So now, as long as I press the space bar, I'm able to speak as an attendee over here. My mic is activated. And when I leave the space bar, it stops. So this will avoid a lot of background noise from students who unintentionally create that noise because of pressing the mute button, or sometimes they might not acknowledge that they are on unmute, and it just stops the class from proceeding further, right? So this is a better option than a mute all button. So we are looking forward for the mute all button from Google, but this works. Okay, so this is the plugin for push to talk on Google Meet. Now let's check out the next plugin, which is called as Google Plus. Where was that? Yes. So this is the plugin, Google Plus. This allows the teacher to have whiteboard and a lot of things which students from K-12 will like. So let's see how that appears. So as you can see, this plugin appears as a small bar on the top or side of your screen when it's active, and you can click on any of these icons. So there are a lot of functionalities here, so let's just explore. So here I'm in the Meet, and you can see this plugin over here, right? I can drag and I can drag and move this around. So that's what it says. So what are the plugins? it will allow me to see the people join the call. It will allow me to set a timer if I want to set a timer for whatever I'm doing in the class. It will mute the muting. So I think I can basically mute all, and it will set my status to away or active. Nice. It allows me a lot of emoji icons like this one. Right, okay, and I'll keep this trivia of our discussion. Settings. So you can set it just like you have my 10 here, so you can have a setting over here. Press tab spacebar to talk. So I think this eliminates your push to talk plugin, but yeah, if you don't want all this and just want the push to talk plugin, go for that. Just remember that this plugin also has that feature. I am not sure if it's a premium feature, but right now it says that. And you can also be in a do not disturb mode, which means that nobody can give you a call. So but the most interesting part here is the whiteboard plugin. As you can see, here's the whiteboard, and I can basically type right, or I can basically scribble, or I can basically paint, etc, etc. And I think there's an option to save also. So how do I close the whiteboard? I can save the whiteboard, I can close it. If I save, I believe it will go into your drive in whatever file format. I can create a note which will be seen to all. For example, complete your homework, and I'm just going to park it at this corner, and I can lock it. So agenda items. So this will help the teacher list a few things which will be visible throughout the class or whatever. You want to use the note for yourself, this could you use. And this I think to broadcast a message, one common message to all the users, very similar to using the chat feature, right? So you can see some of the features are pro features here. So that's a paid version. So this is also a paid version. So I'm just going to close it, delete all. Usually paid versions will have a timeline, say 1 month, 1 week, and after that it will say, want to use this, pay us. But I think most of the other features are free. This feature, anything that says unmuted the meeting, so I can unmute people over here. So I should try this with more users, right? So this is definitely a good plugin. So 2 plugins, and we'll join back for the other plugins later. So what did we go through today? The Google Plus. Sorry again, where's the Google Plus? Here's the Google Plus. So this is called as a Google Meet Plus and is a Chrome plugin, and the other one is Google Push to Talk. So remember, the Google Meet Plus has a feature of push to talk, but if you are just looking at that feature and not everything else which comes with Google Plus, which is all these features, right? So then you should just go for push to talks. So these are 2 plugins being discussed in this video. We'll catch up again in our next video. Till then, guys, have a good learning and teaching on Google Meet. Thank you.